I stood there in the suit I'd pressed twice that afternoon. Every fold sharp, every line deliberate. My best effort to look like I belonged. My name is Grant Whitaker. I'm 39 years old, and I came to this rooftop party in downtown Seattle because my wife, Celeste, asked me to. She works for a high-end lifestyle brand. Think luxury, elegance. The kind of place where even the staplers probably cost more than my shoes. I was proud of her. Genuinely proud. Enough to wear a tie I hate and make polite conversation with strangers who sip their drinks like they're auditioning for an ad. The venue itself was beautiful. Fairy lights strung above us like stars caught in wire. The skyline glittering behind glass towers. The hum of conversation floating in the air alongside soft jazz. It should have felt magical. A celebration for success. Maybe even a chance for us to reconnect. But something felt off from the moment we arrived. She kissed my cheek lightly, almost in passing, and whispered, "Mingle," before slipping into the crowd. I barely had time to nod before she vanished. I got a beer, craft of course, and tried to blend in, playing the part of the supportive husband. I listened to coworkers chat about things I didn't understand. Sales metrics, branding, how lavender is the new millennial pink. It was all surface-level smiles with no depth. I wasn't in my element, but I was here for her. Then I saw her, Celeste, my wife of 11 years, out on the dance floor, not alone. She was with Jasper Clean, her co-worker, the man she's mentioned at dinner more times than I could count. Smooth, self-assured, the kind of guy whose haircut looks expensive and effortless. They were dancing, not casually, not the way two people who barely know each other sway to a song. It was intimate, too close. Her hand rested lightly on his shoulder. His arm circled her waist like it belonged there. They moved together with the kind of rhythm that suggested familiarity. I stood frozen, my beer slowly warming in my hand, watching her laugh, her eyes shining in a way I hadn't seen in months. She never looked my way, never gestured for me to join. She was fully immersed in him. The music, some upbeat jazzy tune, bounced cheerfully through the air, a jarring contrast to the nausea curling in my stomach. Around me, the crowd ebbed and flowed, people brushing past, clinking glasses, posing for selfies. I felt like I was fading, a shadow in my own life. I couldn't stand it. I made my way through the guests, each step heavier than the last, until I reached her. I tapped her shoulder gently. She turned, her smile faltering when she saw it was me. "Hey!" I said, my voice low, trying not to cause a scene. "What's going on?" Jasper took a step back, but not before flashing a smug little grin, like he knew something I didn't. Celeste tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, blinking at me like I'd interrupted something sacred. "We're just dancing, Grant," she said, her voice clipped. "It doesn't look like just dancing," I replied, locking eyes with Jasper, who didn't even bother to look away. She let out an exasperated sigh, loud enough to cut through the music. "I'll dance with whoever I choose. You have two options, sit and watch or leave." It hit me like a slap. I stared at her, waiting for her to laugh, to tell me she was joking, that she didn't mean it. But her expression was flat, daring me to push further. Jasper smirked again, and that was all it took. I turned and walked away, shame burning in my chest, my face hot with humiliation. I pushed through the crowd, through the perfume and champagne and artificial laughter, and headed for the elevator. I didn't look back. The ride down was silent, just me and the mechanical hum of descent. When the doors opened, the cold night wrapped around me like a verdict. I'd come to be part of her world, to support her, and she'd made it clear I didn't belong. I walked. I didn't know where I was going, only that I couldn't stay. Seattle streets pulsed with nightlife. Cars honking, people spilling out of clubs with the kind of joy I couldn't touch. I just kept moving, each step echoing with memories. 11 years of building a life, of shared mornings and late-night talks, of arguments and apologies, and the silent agreements you make when you choose someone over and over. And now this. She'd changed since climbing the ladder at work. She'd become different. She talked about Jasper constantly, how brilliant he was, how much he challenged her, pushed her. I dismissed it at first, told myself not to be jealous. But tonight wasn't harmless. It was her choosing him over me and doing it publicly. Eventually, I ended up at the waterfront. The docks were quiet, waves slapping against the wooden posts in slow, rhythmic thuds. I sat on a bench and stared into the black ocean. Her words repeated in my head. Stay and watch or leave. Like I was a bystander in my own marriage. I pulled out my phone, thought about calling her, about asking why. But I didn't. What would I say? She'd already shown me what I needed to know. So I sat there alone, letting the cold settle in my bones. When we finally spoke again, it was the next day. Her eyes were tired but still defensive. When I brought it up, she shot back with, "It was just a dance. You're making this bigger than it is. You embarrass me." I embarrassed her? I stared at her in disbelief. I embarrassed you? I asked, my voice rising. You told me to sit and watch like I'm some puppy. What was I supposed to do, Celeste? She stood then, her chair scraping the floor. You're twisting this. Jasper's my boss. It was part of the company culture. You don't understand how these events work. I tried to stay calm, but my fists clenched. I understand he had his hands all over you, and you didn't care how it looked or how it made me feel. She rolled her eyes, and that cracked something in me. Don't do that. I snapped. Don't make me feel like I'm crazy for caring. She crossed her arms, mirroring my stance. We just stared at each other. I was upset, she finally said, quieter now. You came over acting jealous and ruined the mood. I just wanted you to back off. Back off. I repeated, I'm your husband, Celeste, not some jealous stranger. You picked him over me right in front of everyone. She faltered, opened her mouth, closed it. It wasn't about picking anyone, she said. It was a moment, a stupid moment. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't want you to leave. I searched her face, looking for something, regret, honesty, anything real. But all I saw was someone trying to fix a mess with platitudes. You didn't stop me, I said. I was gone for 2 hours before you even texted. What were you doing? She didn't answer. Just looked down, biting her lip. I thought you'd come back, she murmured. I didn't think you'd actually go. I shook my head. You didn't think about me at all. That's the problem. She reached for me, tentative fingers trembling. Grant, please. I messed up. Let's fix this. And God, I wanted to believe her, but I couldn't. Not yet. I need answers, I said, not rehearse apologies. What's really going on between you and Jasper? She flinched as if I'd struck her, sat down hard. Nothing. He's my boss. That's it. You're reading too much into this. I leaned down so we were eye to eye. I'm reading into it because last night wasn't nothing. Don't lie to me. She looked away, and that said more than anything else. I'm not doing this right now. I muttered, stepping back. I need to think. Grant, wait, she called. But I didn't stop. I left the same way I had the night before, the same weight pressing on my chest. She didn't follow me. She let me go, and that silence, that told me everything.